what makes Born to be Wild special is that each week there is a deck building restriction, which is great because this way I don't have to verse the same neckbeard sweaty decks that I see month to month in the depths of despair that is 10x Wild Hearthstone.
Well, that aged poorly. So, this week wasn't very restrictive. There was two rules mainly. There's the rule that is in every week, which you have to have at least 15 minions, which basically rules out exactly APM mage. Then there was another rule where you couldn't have class or epic minions, class legendary or epic minions, which like rules out like 6 cards. Which gets us to the only restriction that really did much, which was you had to have at least 10 core set cards. Which is a bit restrictive, to be fair. That rules out a few archetypes. You know, hand buff paladin doesn't really work with 10 core set cards. Hell, maybe it does. I couldn't figure it out. Things like Malygos Druid, which would otherwise work, would have a hard time fitting in 10 core set cards. But for the most part, just like pick any aggro deck, specifically Baku, which is probably just the best card in this week's format. And just like take out 2 or 3 cards from the meta list and put in like a couple of 1-drops from the core set, and you got yourself a list. Yeah, well, I'm sure it'll be fun anyway. All right, let's take a look at the games. Before we get too far into them, I wanted to say thank you for the support on the last video. I'm glad some of you liked it as much as I did, and I hope this one will be as enjoyable as the last. Because of all the comments and support on the last one, I'm going to do a video like this for the rest of the remainder of this series, so look forward to those. This one, first game, we've got Demon Hunter versus Rogue, which is Baku Odd Demon Hunter versus Baku Odd Rogue. Really, really shocking, I know. It's incredible, groundbreaking, just true homebrews in this one. Me and ggahsoo, as a disclaimer, we're friendly with each other, so there's a lot of emoting. None of it's BM. Here, turn 1, I have a pretty simple choice. Play the Battle Fiend and the Buff Girl. Here, ggahsoo compliments me on my incredible ability to play a minion with more than 2 health into an odd rogue hero power. Truly exemplary gameplay. Takes a master to go, hero power deal 2, minion 4 health. Really a gamer moment. Here I couldn't do it. My squire is being thrown basically just to its death, but it protects the Battle Fiend and allows the Battle Fiend to probably Pyroblast him. You gotta love that when a 1-drop Pyroblasts your opponent. That's good stuff. And so far we're on pace for my Battle Fiend to Pyroblast him. Speaking of Battle Fiend, here we have another one. Decided I-Beam not worth it on a 1/1. Gonna yoink his mana. Here I'll trade just so he has to use his hero power on the 2/2 and can't use it on the 3/4. Really just simple gameplay so far. Hero power for 1, play minions that cost 1, and hit him in the face. Really just truly exemplary gameplay. This next top deck here, this Twin Slice, basically just, I think, won the game for me. It just made it really clear to me that I should just throw everything to the face because there's nothing he can do about it. He has no taunts and no healing and can certainly not race me down 20 health. So just throw everything face and I'm a mana off next turn and, you know, a 2-turn lethal setup with this Leroy. So my plan here is to just hero power face and I-beam this 3/3 and whatever I play, if I can play it, whatever I draw, if I can play it, I'll play it. Otherwise, doesn't matter. Here, you know, this is a really good top deck, but it doesn't matter because I just have Leroy hero power next turn. But, you know, for kicks and giggles, I'll play it. Hit him even lower. Again, the only way he could survive is Swashbuckler into some Demon Hunter card that does something. I couldn't even tell you what that is. But here, I mean, I knew it was pretty over. He had to deal 21 to me on this turn, and that's just impossible. So that'll wrap this game up as soon as he spends his last manas here. I will Leroy him in the face, and the game will be over. So let's go to game 2. All right, game 2. He, as expected, picked his discard Warlock. His discard Warlock is pretty close to the meta build, just with some core set thrown in, and maybe a card or two missing. I'm not that familiar with the discard Warlock list. But the gist of it is I expected him to pick it because, one, I have to play Demon Hunter, because I won with it last game, and it's last hero standing. And 2, because it's got a lot of 3 health things. You know, 1 mana, 1/3s. Just like powerful early aggro. He's kind of got everything he needs to beat me. He's even got a big taunt. I chose to keep this 1-drop and these 2 spells on the left of my hand. I kind of regret it now, looking back. But my thought was the silence to either beat the early aggro or the early grow or the Lakari, and it draws, so it's not that bad. And then I kept the I-beam because then it would be on the outside. But in hindsight, I needed to be developing minions each turn, like 1s, 2, 3, and 4, and I currently have no minions to be played on any turn other than 1, which was brutal. Here, he used his beautiful-looking cat coin and blew me out of the water. And I think this turn was really just what shows my mulligan mistake the most. I have no minions to develop, so even though I have a really clean hero power or I-beam cleanup, I can't develop anything. So at this point, I kind of just concede, and I say, all right, not going to beat him on cards, not going to beat him on the board. Let's just try to throw everything face, and see if we get there. Can you shut up? I apologize. I was in a clicking mood. That was like a horse running. Sheesh. I'm clicking like a madman in this series. What is going on? Look at me. Got a little mouse flying around the room and just clicking on the board. Yeah, you know, so this I-beam was kind of my last chance at the race, and even with 3 mana, he somehow developed like 10 attack and set up lethal. So here I was toast. I was probably supposed to Leroy the 6/3 and hero power his face, because that technically keeps me alive. But I ended up silencing, trying to find something better. It doesn't really matter, I don't think. I think I just lost. I don't think there was anything I could have done really that won. I think I was looking for, I don't know, both my I-beams are gone. I don't even really know what I wanted. I just figured I'd remove an attack and look for a card. But here it is pretty over. Did the math, figured out he had 12 if I Leroy, but he's got a plethora of ways to kill me. And he chose Doomguard plus Fist of Jaraxxus, which was perfect lethal, really. Just exact the amount of damage he needed. So that is game 2. All right, game 3. It is 1-1. I have my mage, and he has his discard Warlock for the second time. As you can see, I am a talented gamer with Kapal, Lackey, and Rigged Fair Game on 1. Here he has flashbacks to all of the horrible, dreaded times he's had to verse this combo on 1, and he just, for about 40 seconds, sat there thinking about if he should concede on the spot, decided to eventually end his turn, and that he should play it out. And, you know, that was probably the right call. But, man, I feel for the guy. Nothing worse than Kabalaki Rig Fairgame on 1. In an already just despicable, disgusting deck to have to play against. For them to just do the strong stuff turn 1. I mean, there's just, like, no reason to have Hearthstone installed anymore at that point, really. So, I don't blame him for just really just dreading it for a good 30 seconds there. So far, pretty straightforward until this turn where he cheats and plays a Bone Web Egg into my explosive runes. Just absolutely despicable behavior. Surely he drove across the country, snuck into my room, and saw which secret I played. Really just unethical, just gross behavior. I mean, what an absolute filthy cheater. Here I played a Totem Golem. And then he played what has to be the most fair Doomguard I've ever seen. I mean, you've ever seen a Doomguard that just actually got rid of 2 cards? I mean, we're living in 2019 with Doomguards like that. That's really something special. Turn 5, I've had 2 rigged fair games go off. I'm feeling pretty good about this one. This random brain freeze I got actually turned out to be pretty sweet. It allowed me to kill his fair Doomguard way easier than I should have been able to without it. He then, you know, he does what he can here. Develops some minions. I think this turn coming up is the turning point of this game. This was the only turn that I think roped. I didn't rope out, but I think I may have seen the rope. I don't know. This turn I did like the math. Figured out if I could just throw Fireball's face each turn, and if he'd be able to win. And I came to the conclusion that if I Fireball Ping and then Fireball Ice Block, I cannot lose. It is impossible. He would have to kill me this turn before I can Ice Block. And so after, I don't know, 30 seconds maybe of thinking, I make that play. He develops, you know, as much as he can. But there's no beating Ice Block Fireball with a guaranteed counterspell plus the deal 6 Battlecry minion the next turn. So even if he procs me, I have a Battlecry deal 6 and a secret to proc it. So it's just over. Throw my second Fireball face, laugh in his face as he plays the 4th Silverware Golem. For some reason, it's still not making a golden minion. I don't know what's up with that. It's supposed to, like, combine and make it golden. That was bugged for some reason. Who knows? That's game 3. All right. Game 4. We have the most exhilarating experience in all of Hearthstone. Truly, just, as you can see, we are both just ever so looking forward to this matchup. The, you know, perfectly amazing and wonderful, wholesome decks we are playing against each other is just truly peak Hearthstone. I mean, everyone loves to play their meme decks, and this is just a perfect example of that, really. We just absolutely love everything about this experience. It's going to be so awesome. I can't wait. Yeah, no, not at all. As you can see in our conversation, we both agree, which should be a, you know, universal opinion, that Secret Mage is unhealthy and is the least healthy thing to ever touch Hearthstone. Secrets are the worst mechanic in Hearthstone, so it should not be surprising that when every form of secret and secret interaction hits critical mass, that it is just an uninteractive, horrible experience for everyone involved. So far, really, you know, he had a 1-drop, I didn't. I had to play a 3-drop for 3 mana on 3. Not ideal, but not over yet. I just gotta hope he doesn't have a perfect curve. So far, though, it is quite perfect. If he can fit a 2-drop in here, he will be all set. Oh, no, not a 2-drop, a 3-drop Seeker, which is okay. He paid 3 mana for that. Again, not over, but we are 11 mana behind somehow in 3 turns. Not really sure how that happened. Oh, wait, he played 2 Cabal Lackeys. Yeah, that would explain it. And then, you know, I was hoping maybe I wouldn't get blown out of the water, but instead it was exactly 2 good secrets and not terrible ones. So I am now behind in cards and in board. You know, really just not going my way so far. I will say, yeah, the game is over. Oh, you know, I was getting in it, getting in the groove, you know, planning some turns out, having some fun. And then he just decided he didn't want to play the game anymore and that it would be over. Which, you know, I gotta respect. Just end the misery sooner. You know, and then when he played 2-0 mana 5/5s, I decided I just had to throw stuff face and hope for the best. I had the ice block so I could buy a turn. But I don't also have the damage in hand, so it's going to be fun to try to figure that out. But I also never can come back on board. With the Explosive Ruins eating my 4/4, it was real over. I mean, he just had a spree here of perfect curve, perfect secrets. Not much I could really do. Pretty horrible time for everybody involved. Pretty horrible experience. Wasn't for him, I suppose, because he won, but I'm sure it was still not desirable. Really, I hate to be a downer, but Secret Mage it's just unhealthily terrible and unfun in every way, in every possible regard. You should feel bad for playing it, quite frankly. Not really, but you know, it shouldn't exist. Flak Mage should cost like 5 mana. Cabal Lackey should cost at least 2. Etc. 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 Secrets shouldn't be a mechanic. What a miserable experience. Yeah. One day I'll release a full episode on my hatred of Secret Mage, but for now, I'll leave it at that. Let's go to Game 5. All right, we have Game 5 here. It is Odrogue versus Secret Mage, and it is match point. Back-to-back videos, back-to-back weeks. We've gotten our money's worth with a full Game 5 series. It's pretty exciting stuff. What isn't exciting is having to play against Secret Mage again. But that's the last I'll say about them. About that. Turn 1, I decide I think it's fine if he pings. I kind of maybe regret it because that 1 damage on my weapon is actually really good at killing his 3 health things. But I think generally forcing your opponent to like use their hero power is generally pretty bad. And really just man is just incredible at having Cure and Tor Mage on 3. I mean, is there anybody better? I think every game he had it on 3 except 1. I don't know. He's really making me regret not running that in my list. I was given the advice that that card is the most cuttable card to fit room for core, which I find to be insane. I, trust the person who told me that. But man, it sucks to lose to it, right? Like, that card is just so good. Premium stats and, like, free secret. Speaking of premium stats, that was reduced once, and even as a 4 mana 5/5, it's disgustingly good. Like, what do I do against a 4 mana 5/5? It's so good. Maybe I was supposed to trade here. I thought for a really long time about this, and basically with this Flame Geyser, I'm like, I can 3/3 plus Flame Geyser next turn. I'm gonna go face and make him trade. He thought about this for a long time. Like, I probably doing what I did in my game in the mirror match, where I like calculated all my mana when I played Secret Mage and just found a line to win. He did something similar, but man, it took him a long time to remember that face is indeed the place. And I was shocked that he did that and just sent 11 face and didn't trade with my 5/5. At the start of this turn, I threw 1 mana away and then decided what to do with the other 4. I think, in hindsight, after seeing why he went face, I should have played this specific turn differently. But also, it's like, I'm just dead. Like, I'm at 10. He just hit me for 11. But yeah, the Cloud Prince is a real big problem. That's why he did it right. He could throw the 5 face and then be guaranteed to kill that next turn. So in hindsight, I should have made my thing a 6/6 and ate the 5/5 with it and then stayed wide with my 3/3 and my 2/2. But I don't think it mattered enough. It might have. That might have been the criminal mistake. But also, I'm pretty sure if he just threw that 4/4 face, he was fine. I don't know. I guess he doesn't have Ice Block. But yeah, at this point in the game, because of the line that's happened, it's over. I have no way to kill him this turn, and he needs 6 damage. And then, with Mirror Entity, it's real over. Really unfortunate. I am curious if I did the different line where I made it a 6/6, traded into the 5/5, and sent the other 5 face. If that would have been a better line. I still don't have lethal. I have 6 plus 5. That's a lot. That might have been lethal. I might have thrown. But then he can ping and play something else in his hand. So it's hard to say, really. I'd have to know what the other cards were. But yeah, that's the series. GG's all around to ggahsoo. Great games. And yeah, that'll be it for the video. If you guys enjoyed, feel free to subscribe. I'll be making a video for this this series for week 4 and week 5. And if you haven't seen the last one, you can click somewhere on the screen and watch that as well. Peace.